Zampo and the heartiest welcome. I'm Yishe, your host, and this is Talk and Show. My guest for tonight is an award-winning journalist. Please welcome Chencho Dema. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, how are you, la?
I'm fine.
Okay. So, ma'am, can you tell us briefly about you?
Okay. I'm Chencho Dema and I'm working with Business Bhutan and currently I'm freelancing with BBC Monitor. And I am currently based in Punakha since my husband is there. So I have two sons and my parents, especially my dad, lives with me. So this is about me in a nutshell.
Okay. Ma'am, the next segment, it is called Moral of the Story. Moral of the Story. So in this segment, I would like to know 2 lessons that you've learned in your life. So please impart your wisdom, la.
This is like something that has been very like personal experience. I always tell people that don't judge a book by its cover, because we tend to we have this habit of judging a person, because until and unless you have not walked the shoes, you have not walked that person's experience, do not judge that person. It's easy to say that he's this or she's this, but this particular person has his or her own story, so do not judge that person. The another one is like first impression is the last impression. This is what we call every time.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in this. You know what it takes. Sometimes it's very quick to judge that person, but you need to know this person. You need to give a chance to let this person to open up to you and let the person, why did he do or she do that? So exactly that's how you know that person, and then you have the firm judgment about that person. So
okay, ma'am, the next segment, it is called Mystery Maze la. What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common? What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common? There's one thing common about Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh.
I know both the figures, but
listen to my intonation, ma'am.
Okay.
What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
Is the?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
these
yes.
the common, right?
Oh,
Middle name in this case. So final
so
riddle for the episode. Okay, listen to this carefully, ma'am. What is red and smells like blue paint?
What is red?
Red and smells like blue paint. What is it? There's this particular thing. It is red in color, but it smells like blue paint. The answer is in the sentence, in the riddle, actually.
Okay. Red in color but smells blue.
it's the red paint. Red paint. I told you it smells like blue paint. It's just color is red, right?
Oh, okay.
But smells like blue paint means all the paint, irrespective of the color, will smell the same.
Okay.
The paint will smell like paint, right?
Yeah.
Just because the color changes, the smell doesn't change.
Oh.
So it's just red in color, and the blue paint is the smell of the paint. It's a red paint. So okay, you got one. So you said you're not good, so I agree.
Yes.
I'm just kidding now.
No,
Okay. The next segment, it is called Once Upon a Time. So in this story, in this segment, I would like to know your incredible story. So please start, la.
Normally, many people, like especially when I apply for fellowship or trainings outside, the very first question they ask me is why and how did you become a journalist? This is very interesting. Many people say that, like, what do you want to be in your life? No? Like, we just raise our hand, no, when we are in schools. I want to be a teacher, doctor. That's like a very,
doctor
like
and engineer is the topmost.
Yes,
yeah.
That's the thing. But for me, like, you know, I just said I want to be a journalist. Not that I was very.
Oh, you said you wanted
yes,
to. Oh my God! It was your childhood dream.
Yes, la.
Your
and
dream came true.
Yes, la.
So lucky.
That's why people say that I'm living my dream. And I was just watching a TV. Like, I was just watching a TV with my dad, and I just saw.
When you were a kid, how
yes,
old were you, man?
I was in class 8, not very young also. I was in class 8.
Yeah, you were young, 13, 14, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was just watching the TV, and then suddenly I saw Barkha Dutt. Then I didn't know who she was. I just saw a woman figure there, literally in front of a camera, and then she was literally saying something about news, happening of this, that in Indian society. So I said, look, wow, this is very nice. I said, does this job pay? So I was just literally asking my dad, and he said, yes, she's a reporter, so she's basically, then I have no clue about what is reporter and all this. Like, then I like developed that, what was a passion to become a journalist. So one thing I learned was that you really need to be good in speaking, and then you really need to be good to communicate with the people. You have to let the people really speak out if you really want to be a journalist, and then you have to be a good listener. So I felt that time that I had all these qualities. So like after that, I completed my 12, and then I then did my 2.5 years of diploma in photography and new media. Then there was a vacancy in Bhutan Today, the first daily newspaper. So I applied, I got, and then I started that's how my journey started. Although my journey was very, like, not very, like, how people portray that it's very, what do you say, like, it's very hard. I had to struggle because I could not get what I wanted and all this. But it was a very swift and smooth flow of my journey towards my profession. And after that, I worked there. I started with a very small stories, petty stories like.
Do you remember your first story, la?
Yes, I did a story on potatoes and vegetables.
Potatoes.
Yes, and you know what? That's how I got my name. Like, people will call me the potato girl, ginger girl, chili girl. No, that was a small story that I used to
do
do.
stories on
Yes,
vegetables.
yes. And when I look back, no, I feel like, what do you say, like, I feel that I have really walked a very long journey.
Yeah, you started from the bottom in a way,
yes,
right?
not that I didn't do very wow stories that now that what do you say, like, I did wow stories before, and now also I'm doing, no. I came from the very, what do you say, like, brick by brick, I made the
humble
foundation.
beginnings.
Yes, so that's how now I do very different stories. Sometimes which brings me thread. People call me, they, what do you say, these are the people I will see. I'll use this platform to tell these people that you are a coward. You have to accept constructive criticism, because as a journalist, I am bound to write truth. It's not that I am, what do you say, like, not going, what do you say, going against anyone. I have any, what do you say, like, hatred towards anyone that I want to do bad stories.
It's not personal.
Yes, that's not very personal. That's very objective. I do. Of course, in a writing, I cannot keep both the parties happy. When we were having this informal talk also, I was sharing with you, like, how people used to call me and like how they abuse me verbally. Then sometimes they come to my office too, they want to beat me. No, people don't tend to understand. People always think journalists when the pungdumi, like, they think that we tend to create disharmony. If we do not bring
Inside
these
trouble.
issues, yes, like, if we do not bring this kind of issues to the public, how will we know what is happening? No, so this is how we do it. But people tend to take it in another level and all this. So only thing I can do is for now ignore it. I have developed thick skin. So earlier it used to, like, to be very honest, emotionally, mentally, I was really affected. To that extent, I used to cry, and then, like, I have my supportive editors, my boss, my colleagues who will always support me that whatever you have done is right. If you're right, why do you want to cry? Don't get succumbed to all these criticisms and all these things. So this is my story. And I, maybe over the span of years of my career, I've been, like, able to develop that confidence in myself that yes, I can do something better. So that's how I applied for international projects, grants, and I would proudly say that I was very lucky enough to get so many fellowships and all this. Recently, I just completed my Asian Journalism Fellowship, which is in Singapore, which was from Singapore. And now I'm just waiting for the pandemic to get over so that I can, then I can travel to USA, because there's one fellowship I have to complete, which I got. And I'm also I have been, like, writing for international publication, which was not easy. It's like there's so many, like, we tend to say that what we write in local context, it is completely different in international front. So what we do is, like, they need every details, which we think that it's not needed, but they need, like, they will send you
very
back your draft. Yes, they send us our draft almost 3-4 times before it gets published. And of course the pay is also good. So that's the thing. Yes,
proportionate, right?
Yes. So you have to, like, it's a learning experience. Remember, like, being a journalist, you can learn every time. It's a learning experience. There's never a full stop over there. There's always a comma. You keep on going. You learn, every new word. So I'm very, like, I really have this passion for writing. I have many of my friends who were there in this profession together. They have left for the greener pasture. But for me, it was not all about the money, but it was all about giving a platform to the people who do not have a voice, to raise their voice. And I've been able to help them. And when I look back, I feel content, satisfied also that I have done this. Not to say or to tell anyone that, yes, I've done this, because I wanted to do. No, it's because I've been able to help those people.
So that's the best part about your work.
For a female journalist, I do not know whether it is similar, whether they encounter the similar problems or not. But for me personally, I feel that like when you have an interview to do, because journalism is all about, not about 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
The very moment you get a story, you need to cross-check, verify, you need to get additional information. So we need to call. So it happens either in the late at night, either early in the morning, or either at the very wee hours and all this. So I remember calling one of the officer. I'll not name that person also. So literally, I have no clue who this officer is, but I had to get the permission. So they, in police, they have this protocol that we have to seek permission to get the information. So I called up that person, that SP, and after maybe few hours, I get a call from his wife saying that, what is there between two of you? I'm like, seriously? And may I know who are you? Like, and saying, I'm the wife of this person. So I said, okay, look, I'm saying, no, I was very offended. First thing, I do not know who are you referring to and with whom you are linking me to. But I
don't even know the man.
Yes, la. I am a journalist. Just let me tell you that I'm a journalist. I just called your husband just to get information. And I called that person during office hours. La. This is what happens, you know. I'm very blunt, so what do you say, like, and I get very excited when I talk also. If you see that, what do you say, like the excitement in my face. So
no, I can see you right now.
this happens, Mila, being a journalist. But now I was thinking, no, had this call been made by a male journalist, would will this scenario erupt? No. But the another part is like being a journalist, you need to call. No, first you need to call. If I could meet you, but sometimes what happens is like I was telling you just earlier before that, like no, people tend to people tend to judge you, no. They tend to flirt with you. And then if you do that, then they judge you, no? Character, but they do not understand that's our that's our job. We need to be very polite. I cannot dial someone and say, "Hello, sir, now story chuka." What will this person think? Oh, this woman does not have a manner. Now, if I show my manner, then this particular person will say, "Bah, character, now I don't get annoyed. I don't get angry. I don't. Yes, I'm like I have reached that saturation point. Remember, like, okay, he say this to me? Okay, did she say this to me? Kemi lapchu. Dogs will bark.
Yeah, judgments will be
there.
Yes,
unless if you're very bold enough, come to my face and talk to me. Maybe over a cup of tea, we will talk. Otherwise, no, you just don't put the well and then take the, what you say, that go to the social media, put my pictures. No, they always threaten me that.
That has happened to them.
Yes, I did. You know, they will call me, you're a drunkard, characterless women, divorcee, what? No, they will give me all the words that are not even true. No, I'm saying, even if you want to write about me, please be bold enough, be truthful. Let the people know that, okay, fine. How I wish if I could just sit with these people, no, and then tell them, no, what exactly a journalist is, how we work. People just tend to, no, they just need opportunity, maybe, to bark. They do not know what we are going through, what we have, like, to get a simple story also, how difficult it is. Sometimes we have to be very careful with the choice of words that we put in the article, because whatever words that we put there, once it's printed, we are accountable in Mabate. If I say anything wrong, no, if I call this person a rapist, this person can sue me. If I say allegedly, means I'm putting myself on the safer side. I did not 100% put the blame. So this is the sad scenario in Bhutan that we journalists, especially female journalists, have to go through. There are journalists who are very bold enough; they will retaliate. But there are like, I have few of my friends who are very like, they can't even say a word, and I just look at them and say, see, you know, when like I have one friend who sits just next to me, and she will like politely, she'll listen, and I'll say, no, I'll teach her, no, say, don't, because if you keep on doing like this, they'll keep on stepping you down. So this is my story.
You do it with passion, so that's a good thing, right? Passion beats all.
Yes, and then the bad part about my profession is maybe because I'm a woman and we are a little bit softer than the male. So when we see these tragedies, when we meet these rape victims and all this, sometimes I cannot control my emotions because why do these people have to go through this? Why? No? And then when we want to help them, sometimes the victims, they themselves, they don't want to come forward because of the society. What will this society
Stigma.
think? Yes, so that's sometimes because of that we are not able to get good stories. We are not able to inform the people the whole 100% story that we want to. So sometimes that's how we miss some information, and people tend to very strongly, they will come against us saying that it's a half-baked story. No, but they do not know why we missed out that story, because the victim does not want to. If you really want to be a bad journalist, I will just ignore the emotions and not even care about the emotion of that particular victim and then put it on the story. So what? I've done my job. But will I, at the end of the day, will I be able to sleep calmly or peacefully?
Your conscience is
yes,
very
this will not allow me.
You are a fixer for Jeffrey Gentleman of
Yes,
the New York Times, and currently you're freelancing with BBC Monitoring. So tell us your experience on that.
I just happened to be one of my very seniors, sir. He was editor with Business
When you were working for business? Okay.
Yes. So he used to work there before. He was a CEO and then later he left. So he just happened to be in my office. So I was just telling him, sir, you have been meeting so many international journalists. You have doing works and all. Why don't you also assign us, give us, we will also have a first-hand experience and all this thing. And he said, seriously, you want to do? Then I said, why not? Please give me a chance. I will also try to prove myself that yes, I can also do. No? So he said, okay, fine. Then there is a guy who's coming from New York Times. I said, seriously, I was not worried. I was not concerned about who is coming, but what caught me was the New York Times. No, wow, okay. Then I said, without thinking anything, I said, okay, I just want to do it. It's not about the money. It's not about anything, but it was all about experience. And then that the brand, yes, the New York Times. So he said, okay, I will send him an email, and then I'll give you an email address. Then that's how you correspond with each other. So then I got an email from him that saying that, okay, fine, I've been told by Tashi that you have been assigned as my fixer. So please, can you help me? So I said, okay, fine. That time I was so numb. I was so clueless. I didn't know how to react and how to, in fact, what do you say? I know it. Yes, it's very funny also. Being in a journalist, you always write and you always talk, and then suddenly you become mute and you are so nervous. And then this is what
starstruck.
Yes, so I was because it was too for me. I don't know how the experience will be with others, but for me it was something very unbelievable. It was very huge. So then I wrote him that I'm Chencho Dema, I'm working with the Business Bhutan, and I got this chance because of this person. So please let me know what kind of stories you're looking into. So he said he want to do about reading culture in Bhutan, because that's because the information that he got was that Bhutanese people do not read much, despite that we have a high literacy rate, and all those things. So I said, okay, can you just find me, it was like an editor telling what kind of stories you need to do and whom you want to meet, whom to interview, where to go, who to meet and all this. So that was my job. So I said, okay. So then I just did some research, then I called up my previous editors, former editors and all. How do I do this? Because this is something very big for me. I need to, because like I was saying, I need to really impress this guy that he has not chosen a wrong person, has not chosen a wrong person. So I did all the thing, then I knew whom to interview. I made a huge profile, and you know what, I did not sleep that particular night till 4 or 5 in the morning. I was compiling the reports, who to meet, the profile of that person. Then he came, Jaffrey, he came to Bhutan. Then I met him, then I took him to all those people, and then you know what, I was so happy at the end of the day. He was so happy, and he said, I never thought that you could do this, because that was my first time, because if you do not have experience, you do not know how to do the work. So that was my first experience, and I was able to convince him, and I was really able to, what do you say, what you call that?
Prove yourself?
Yes, I was able to do that. So, and I was very happy, and then yes, he gave me a good amount of money also. And then after that, few more projects came in, I did, and then I applied for fellowships and all this. And then the BBC monitoring happened. I said, seriously, you want me to do a freelancing for BBC? This job was offered to my former boss, which he's very capable, but somehow he could not accept the job because he was very busy, and that needs like every morning till Friday I have to compile all the news from different media houses. Then I have to do the post-mortem, then I have to write in my own words and send them. So, but I do give the credit. If this story is from BBS, means from BBS, with this much word count, it's very different work, not exactly like how we write the stories. So I've been doing this for almost now 2 years. And then before that, they asked me to come to Delhi because they wanted me to undergo a 1-week training. And you
for
know
monitoring?
what? Yes, yes. They have their office in Delhi, New Delhi, it's based there. And then you know what, I was like, again, that was like, you know what, it's like a first time experience, and sometimes you do blunder also, sometimes you make mistakes also. And then when I look back, I just laugh, no? What did I do? No? Oh, I should have done the other way around. I should have done this, no? So then I went to Delhi, I did my training, and I'm very grateful to those editors and those people who were like very supportive. No, I said like I have no clue how to do the stories, no, and they gave me a Dex, and I had to take my own laptop. So basically, they told me like, okay, this is how you have to do it. So we will give you the sample from how the freelancers from Nepal, Sri Lanka, India, and other countries also they do. So your job is also same. So from Bhutan you have to do this. So they gave me all those papers, documents, and then the whole day I'll be there in the office like going through the papers. So then they gave me a chance. Okay, fine. Now please draft your first story. So I did it, and then I was so worried that what if it goes wrong and I get rejected for this job. Then this person, like, he went through and he was like, it's like very impressive, you have done a good job. And then I was, I got it. So then I signed my contract and everything. And then like, it was for 1 year actually. So they really liked the way I was doing my job and all this. So they said like, okay, we are not very sure like for how long, but for now it's indefinite. So your contract has been like, yes, so I was just like hoping. So
yeah, I just recall this Julia Roberts, no, in Notting Hill. How long are you going to be in UK? Indefinitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like how it happened. So then after that, like I was more focused on the BBC work, and then of course like I could not neglect my job back in my office also. Then I've been doing all simultaneously, but there has not been like, sometimes it's very difficult to do 2 jobs, remember, but I have been able to like time management.
Plus you're a mother.
Yes.
How do you balance that?
Oh my God, like juggling between work and
literally
work
juggling.
And, yes, it's like, and then like I was like I told you earlier that the reason why I'm so grateful to my father is not because he has raised me or because he has given me education or anything. That every parent does that, but he has done beyond that. When I was like pregnant, he will be taking care of me while my husband is busy with his work, because he being an officer, he has to be like always at the field, So that he always has a guilt that he has not been able to give more time to your family. And because of his absence, my dad was there for me. Because I come from a broken family, so it was my dad who has been taking care of me and my children, So whatever, like I was saying to my children also, I will not give that first place that for me beyond, like, I don't know, maybe people might criticize me for saying this particular statement, but for me, if there's anyone above anything, that's my dad. So I will always give that first position to my dad, and then comes the rest. Maybe my children also will not take that position, because he has sacrificed a lot for me. He has left his business. He came all the way from Punsaling to Thimphu to take care of my children. When I was at work, he will be feeding my children. Can you imagine that? Which normally we see that mothers do it for you, but for me it was my father who has been doing this. So even words, I have no words to express how much grateful I am. But all I know is that I'm very grateful, and then now it's my turn to be back to him. So I just want him to have a peaceful, retired life now. So because my children are growing, and then like I'm able to give time to my children, because when I was out in work, means I will be away from my home for almost sometimes weeks, sometimes like late at night, I will not be home. By then it will be my dad. I have nothing to worry back home because my dad is there. So
okay, safe and sound, tucked in.
Yes.
Okay.
The good thing about me is I don't give up easily. I apply for a fellowship or any grant, I will apply and then I know that there are like so many other journalists from
Applicants.
across the what do you say, like world who are applying, who are much more better than me. But I'll not give up. I'll say that if they're good, I'm also good. No, so why not try? So at least through this rejection, no, you become very bold. You become very, like, what do you say, like determined. No, that yes, I need to do this. If I'm rejected now, if I get rejected now, then there is always a second chance. You know? So that's how, like, even the earlier fellowship that I was talking about, Asian Journalism Fellowship, I was rejected earlier. I didn't give up. It's very funny. The trend is very funny. If I get rejected once, then other project gets rejected, other gets rejected, other gets rejected. That's always rejection.
There's bad things happens in 3 or something.
Yes, like, it's in a row. And then, like, if something good happens, like for example, like Jeffrey thing happened, then BBC thing happened, then I got a grant from Earth Journalism, then I got this fellowship, Singapore, and then finally the fellowship in USA. So 5 things happened, and I was like, it's too much. Like, anyone would not believe that these things happen.
It's a virtue, actually,
Yes,
to be persistent, to not give up at all, right? Tenacity is very important. I think your story is inspirational, especially for upcoming women journalists, or like women journalists in general. I think it's very inspirational. Your tenacity, your attitude of not giving up, and your attitude of being a lifelong student. You have this thirst for learning, right?
Yes.
So I think that's very applaud-worthy. So more power to you. All the best for your future endeavors. Lovely listening to your story. I learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next segment, it is called Fun Facts. So in this segment, I would like to know 2 fun facts about Madam Chencho Dema.
You know what, like many people say, like when they see me in like informal in a sense, like Western outfit, they'll say that I'm very stylish, They say that. But the story that only my few close friends, they know that I do not know how to apply makeup. The only thing I know is like you like kajal, basically you call that
eyeliner,
like,
right?
Eyeliner, yes, and then maybe a cream. I recently learned how to drive I just remember that so my husband will always say that if you want to practice, you just make sure that that he always gives me the tips how to drive and all this thing. So one time I went to Zomlingthang from my place. I live in Changyil, so it's almost maybe 2 or 3 minutes drive. So I went there. So there were many people there, and I just parked my car, and I did not know what to do next, because handbrake dua demula. So I didn't know whether I have to press it down or press it up. So I had to literally call my friends and sometimes text them saying, what do I do? I have now reached my destination. I parked my car. Do I put the handbrake down or pull it up? And then one of my friends, she could not control her laugh. She was like literally calling me, seriously, you have been driving for quite some time, and now you're saying you do not have clue about what is happening with your handbrake, And this is funny part, And then when I drive, I will never increase my speed, Either I will go in the gear, gear 1 or 2. Beyond that, I don't see any other numbers, I'll also tell my husband that
That's
gear 1
driving.
or 2. Beyond this, I will not go. Funny part is, if I see a truck coming, I'll literally stop there. I will not go. I'll literally stop, because with the fear that this truck will hit me. This is funny part. But still, I have all this phobia, all this fear. But still, what the funny part is, like, I have to drive.
You have to conquer it.
Yes, I will hit like the back part of my car. I've hit so many times. It will hit, but still that I don't get that what you say.
You don't get that fear instilled in you.
There are so many lessons to learn in life. Different situation, experience teaches you a lot of lessons. But there's always one thing that you should always know, that never get affected by what people say. You just do what you want to do. And people tend to judge you, let them judge you, because they do not know what you have gone through, what your story is about. Because it's only you who can tell the story to the people. They cannot tell you on your behalf. You will tell the story. So let them judge you, brand you, tag you with whatever names they want to, because you know under what circumstances, what situation you have been doing this or that. So that's why I just want to say that, like, don't judge people. Do your work honestly, and then the reward will ultimately follow you la. And then with the pandemic going on, people should actually like do learn should have the habit of saving la, because in such difficult time, when everybody is going through a difficult time, hardly there will be people who will come and help you la.
Thank you for coming on the show. I had fun. I learned a lot from you. That's all we have for you now. Thank you for making me a part of your day, and I'll see you soon. Till then, take care and goodbye.